Beneath the surface of the continent of Norequis is an entirely distinct underground world that spiderwebs under the landscape in a confusing and non-geographically coherent system of caves called the Basberg Tunnels, so named for the ancient denizens of these caves who were discovered under Zalo centuries ago. The runners of Zalo have used these tunnels for generations to deliver mail and messages when overland travel is too dangerous or too slow. And most recently, these tunnels have been used to deliver supplies and intelligence throughout the growing resistance network as they prepare to take on the Undying Empire. But 3 weeks ago, something happened at a place called Dragstaff Gulch that has thrown the resistance into disarray. The Council of Grey, located in Finchen to the north, hasn't heard from their allies in the south, Shadal's Corridor, for 3 weeks. Any runners sent south to get word, either by land or tunnel, have not returned. The Council fears the worst. The traitor to the Empire, Prefect Circumsuri, has double-crossed them and taken the corridor. The Council believes the tunnels are crawling with Imperial agents, and the roads south are packed with Drake patrols and checkpoints, and so they've made the difficult decision to close the tunnels down permanently at midnight tonight. Scion Grey speaks up after several minutes of walking silently alongside you, Zara. It just doesn't add up.
You're right. There has to be more going on here. There has to be. I helped bring him in. I don't know what's going on, but there's got to be more to the story.
You've personally met the man. You brought him to heel. They won't listen to the Admiral. They won't listen to Henbit. And yet they are collectively convinced that 3 weeks of silence means abject betrayal.
Because I can't think of another explanation, and if I didn't know him, I might be willing to believe, but it doesn't fit. There has to be something more going on. As much as he may pretend, there's no way he'd be powerful enough to make this kind of change happen.
Siobhan speaks up. I mean, unless he already had archdukes in line, we did move the entire garrison south there to Dragstaff.
You think he's been playing us this whole time?
I mean, it makes sense to me. Think about it. He's been prefect of Shadal's Corridor under the command of the Empire for what? Maybe a few decades? He's immortal. What's a few decades of lying to us in order to get an easy win?
See the logic, but still doesn't feel right with everything else.
I agree. If he was just going to march an army there, why didn't he just do that in the first place?
Exactly.
And here's the last thing, and maybe you can confirm this. Imperial agents can't navigate the tunnels, can they?
No.
Exactly. That's been our one advantage for this entire operation. For years of strategizing, we know for certain they can't use the tunnels. So how, all of a sudden, are they miraculously able to use them with fluidity enough to outrun our runners?
Unless they somehow have accessed another tunnel system, maybe they were able to get some sort of blessing, but the Empire doesn't play nice with the gods.
The Empire doesn't deal in blessings.
Exactly. Also, the gods wouldn't be that nice if they did give a blessing. They're a little chaotic with their gifts.
Right. So, if they're operating with a blessing, then there's a trade-off, and we can discover and exploit it. Or there's something else going on. And then you realize that he has been walking you to the final open entrance to the tunnel system. The gate is closed, but the lock hasn't been installed yet. That leads me to a rather personal request I would like to make of you two. Zara, Siobhan, I'm authorizing one last incursion south through the tunnels. You're the person who knows this cave system best, especially the route to Shadal. Go to Shadal's corridor. Figure out what's going on with the tunnel system. Find Circumsuri.
How long do I have before you close the gate?
He picks up a padlock.
You're closing it behind me, aren't you?
I'm afraid I am. When you come back, you can knock a few times. Someone will come and get you. There will be guards posted. Someone will let you through. They'll be overjoyed to see a runner return. But I can't help but think we're making a mistake.
Mistake in shutting the tunnels down?
A mistake in thinking that our allies to the south have betrayed us.
Agreed. I don't see them betraying us. Anyone who would be foolish enough to try would not live very long. I've met the people in charge down there. Also, they've got that weird kid who can see things that are coming before they happen. Wonder what he has to say about all of this.
Their most bloodthirsty and powerful leaders have come up here for the council. So, if there was going to be a move made, now would be the time to do it. I just don't think that's what's happened. But I need you to figure out what is and is not true.
Sarah looks to Shaban. Are you sure you're up for this? I wouldn't judge you if you decided to stay back. This is potentially going to be dangerous.
When you look over at Siobhan, you notice that her eyes were locked on the blade at your hip. And then when she sees your head move, she immediately looks up and catches your eye and says, "No, I can do it. I'm ready."
Zara's torn because keeping her away from the blade is kind of a goal. But also, Zara knows enough about Shaban to know Shaban will follow somehow. Shaban will find a way.
She's done it before.
Yes. There's a reason we were put together. It's because we're the same level of stubborn.
It really is one of those things where the brain cell just bounces between you two. Rapidly, you could power a city with it.
There's probably at least one person down in Shadol working at that magic university trying to figure out how to do something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Siobhan nodding insistently, then looks at the entrance and then back over at you.
Ready, we may as well go then.
DeGale with you.
I know my way around. I know where the supply caches are. Hopefully we'll be back soon with good news.
Leave marks, trails, anything you can in case we do send another team in to find more runners, but I think you'll be fine.
That is the hope. Zara pats her little runner's pack where we use it to leave behind stuff like trail markers, warning signs, so forth. Looks to Shaban. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Hunter looks over at you. Find Circum, please.
I will. And Zara takes off down into the tunnels.
Siobhan follows very closely behind you. She's gotten much faster under your tutelage. You barely hear the gate close behind you as you pick up so much distance between the mouth of the cave and deeper in that you barely remember what the natural light feels like. As the speed of the runners makes itself evident, you trace quickly down into the cave system. The rocks and torches a blur, the torches passing by like in your ear, a very familiar cadence that you've done probably 1,000 times. You barely hear Siobhan's breathing behind you. She's gotten so steady with the tempo of her running that she barely loses wind these days. It's actually kind of a nice big sister moment, realizing how good she's gotten at this.
Yeah, she's come a long way in a short period of time. I do believe Zara, as we're running, we get to the point where we're running side by side, Zara automatically will like drift over, so the side of her where the sword is opposite of Shaban. Trying to keep her away from it. Not in a lack of trust, but more of in a wanting to protect her.
Due to the interesting layout of the cave system, the pathway to Shadol's corridor is not a straight line. It's not one cave tunnel that just shoots you there. Rather, it's a series of extremely complicated shortcuts that sort of take you almost like through folded space. It's like you would take a left and then end up like 4 miles out of your way, but then if you take another left here and then a right here, all of a sudden you're like 30 miles down the road further and back heading in the same direction. There are many such turns that allow a skilled runner to get down to Shadol quickly.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense, but Zara knows this by heart. She has been running down to work with Jack and the people of Shadol for years, and yes, she did take about a year off to deal with her whole Greyfolk thing, but then she picked it right back up. She knows those tunnels.
They called it a sabbatical.
Yeah. She just needed some time off to get her shit together.
Let's see how well she knows those tunnels. Let's do a roll. Let me explain the system, how the mechanics work. So on page 2 here, you can see that you get to choose between control and impact. The lower your control, the higher your impact. The higher your control, the lower your impact. You decide, and basically it's a comparison. How likely are you to succeed versus how impactful is that success? So in this case, it's how likely are you to correctly navigate the tunnel system down to Shadol versus the impact, which might be how quickly are you able to do it. You roll one of each. I make a decision on what the difficulty is, and we see if you beat it.
For this, I think the control is going to be a D10 because Zara knows how to do this. Could probably do it with her eyes closed. Has probably actually done that once. She was a little tired and needed to rest her eyes and only almost ran into the wall once.
Yeah.
You get used to that as a runner. It's an occupational hazard. I rolled. They were both 4.
They are both 4. That's fine. I set the difficulty to 3, so that'll be fine.
Perfect.
So on the impact, we can see example results.
Mm-hmm.
So a 4 kind of puts you at the equivalent, like, okay, so you're climbing a wall, puts you at the equivalent of, with a running head start, you're able to pull yourself up in seconds. So not clean, but decent enough for this kind of work. The secret outcome that I was looking for is basically it's this. You travel the various familiar twists and turns of the tunnels south. Left, right here, right, left, straight on, skip that turn. Okay, we do this one. Even Siobhan knows it fairly well and then points up ahead to confirm another upcoming right turn, which you confirm. You take the right turn and immediately notice that you are not somewhere familiar.
Immediate stop.
You are standing at a T intersection. It's a very similar T intersection to the one that you know is coming up. Now, the one that you're familiar with is supposed to be a left turn, followed by a pretty decent straightaway. So this is usually kind of where you check your brain out. Like you're like, okay, we're going into sort of a really long haul. This T intersection looks almost identical, except the long part of the T before you get to the fork, you're not in the right position. It's about 3 meters longer than you would expect.
Just stop. Have Siobhan stop behind me.
Siobhan runs all the way up to the intersection and is about to take the left turn before she notices that you're not next to her. And she comes skidding to a halt and then turns around and looks at you. What? What's wrong?
Something's off. Distance measurement. Something's off.
What do you mean? This is the T.
Yes. The distance is wrong, though.
She peers down the left, then peers down the right, and then looks back at you quizzically.
You've heard the reports about strange things happening down in the tunnels, people getting lost.
She starts walking back towards you. I thought that was more voices, which seems pretty standard for cave systems.
Not down here. We described how runners kind of have an innate understanding of like where they are and how to get where they are. Does she still feel that, or does she feel lost?
Runners have a really, really good sense of direction. Zara is special because you are descendant of the ancient cave denizens. You also have a pretty clear sense of direction when you're in the caves, which is unique among runners, which is why you're the best at running these systems. How would I describe it? Actually, why don't we do another check? Because that is a really good question. Why don't we let you get your bearings here?
I think for this one, the control will be lower because she hasn't had to stop and check in the past.
Yeah.
Like, this is not something that she's had to stop and think about this much, and especially knowing everything else that's going on, it's got her on edge. So that'll be 6 control, 12 impact, I think.
Yeah, okay. So, high risk, high reward.
Yeah. They're both 3s. Google Dice Roller, what are you doing?
Google! Why are you doing this to me? Google's listening in, and it wants the drama. For a moment, it dawns on you that you haven't run this route for a little while. Actually, not since your sabbatical. It could be that you've misjudged the distance.
True, and I'm still getting used to running as a Grey Folk.
In addition, Siobhan, who's run this quite a bit, didn't notice it at all. The doubt starts to creep in.
Yeah, Zara just kind of shakes her head. I think my judgment might be a little off. I haven't run this since I changed. It's probably nothing. I'm still taking a little lead, though.
Oh, yeah, of course, Master.
Gives her like a little head rumble and goes back to the trail. Zara's still a little on edge, paying extra attention because knowing she's probably had several friends go missing down here, so she's a little paranoid. So keeping her senses alert for anything odd and making sure Siobhan stays near her, that I do not lose her down here.
Siobhan stays close to you when you make the scheduled left turn. Now, the nice thing about runners getting lost in the caves, which does happen occasionally, is that as long as they're able to find an exit, it's extremely inconvenient and they're lost for weeks, but they can make their way home overland.
Mm-hmm.
You make the left turn, a pit in your stomach forms. It's supposed to be a straightaway. You're at a 4-way stop. This is actually completely wrong.
He stops again, this time grabs Siobhan before she can pass her.
You do not even feel the weight of her pressing. She notices it at the same time as you, and when you see her, her eyes have gone like bug wide. This is supposed to be a really long straightaway.
It is. And yet it's a 4-way crossroad.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a minute, take a deep breath. We know weird things have been happening. Let's look around, see what we can gather from our senses.
Okay, what part of the tunnel system do you think that we're under, though? There's only about 24 total 4-way stops in the entire system. They're actually pretty rare. So we're in one of 24 possible locations, right?
Right. So maybe we can piece together which one we're in, and that'll help us figure out which way we need to go to get to Shadal.
Yeah.
Trying to play it cool while the inside shit.
Siobhan takes a couple of steps forward and is like tracing her finger along the wall, even like lifting her hand and trying to like rub the ceiling. Not entirely clear what she's trying to accomplish with this. She's attempting to gather some kind of information.
See if there's like anything we can tell from like the kind of dirt and rock that we're running on, if there's any smells or anything that could help narrow down. Zara will look for any like directional markings.
Oh, I love that.
Those would definitely be included down there, just in case anyone gets lost, especially because there's 4 possible routes that you could take. So I almost imagine that some of the directional markings almost pertain to like you're going near like this city, or you're going near like there's a forest in this direction. So it's less of north, south, east, west, and more of what you likely run into, and those probably get updated once people figure out, oh, that's this forest.
Or there's like landmarks underneath in the caves, like you're one turn like this way to get to Grumpy Face Rock, which is like a rock that sort of looks like an old man making a nasty face at you, and all the runners know where that rock is, like that kind of stuff. Let's roll that one. Let's roll that one out. I love rolling.
I think we'll go back to something a little more even, so an 8 and a 10. A little better. That is a 6 on control and a 4 on impact.
Oh, this is nice. This is good. A 6 on control is really, really good here. The good news is you find a mark. The bad news is, it's an old mark. This is not a well-traveled 4-way stop. This is nowhere near the center of the continent. You have actually somehow gone extremely north. You know this location. If you take one of the paths, you will actually run into the river of lava at the twins' cradles.
Yeah, just immediately cross that path off in my mind. We're not going that. I feel like that path has been. If you come here and you find this mirth, you do not go left.
Do not follow this one.
In her head, Zora's like, why haven't they blocked that off yet? Even though we don't really know how to actually effectively block things off, other than put a couple of boxes with a sign that just says "don't."
Do not. Siobhan, basically kind of at the opposite end, looking at some of the other corners, also looking for markings, speaks up shakily. Master Zara? Master Zara?
Yes?
Could you, oh no, could you come see this?
I go over, still attempting to project calm composure. This is not ideal, but it will be okay. What is she pointing at?
So she is staring at what appears to be half of a runner's mark that is etched on one of the other hallways. And you see that the runner's mark is currently completing itself as if an invisible hand were etching in the remainder of the mark.
Hey, that. What's the mark say?
The mark is indicating that the correct path to Shadal's corridor is that way. It's the shorthand for Shadal's corridor and then an arrow.
Are there any stories of this happening?
Not a one.
Put my hand on her shoulder. They were not exaggerating when they said strange things. I do know more or less where we are. We go that way, pointing to what the don't go left direction. We'll hit the lava flow near the twins' cradle. So we're not going to go that way. And do I know anything about where the other two might lead? Oh, so there's also the one that we came from, which I can probably tell by the dust we kicked up on the way in.
The thing about this is because it is kind of a pseudo multi-dimensional space, like a 3.5 dimensional space, the place that you came from could potentially actually be a different path. Unfortunately, when you get lost in the tunnels, you can't just like turn around and retrace your steps. You will end up somewhere else. You might be able to intuit where the other two paths go. The problem is you don't really get up here very much. There's not a lot of cause for you to go to the twin cradles. So offhand, not really.
I don't have knowledge. I'm just going based off of vibes.
Okay.
Can I roll to vibe check? Just using the underkin connection. She's also gotten lost a couple of times. It might have been on purpose, but it's happened.
Yeah, you thinking like a roll control high impact? A low control high impact kind of thing?
Yeah, just see what her gut says.
What does it look like when you tap into your underkin senses? Like, is there a ritual? Is there something that you do?
I think it's subtle. And I don't know if Zara is entirely aware of how different this thing that she can do is from others. Like, she has some understanding, but a lot of it's just... that's just how it is. The biggest change is usually, like, in her eyes. Like, the color shifts just a little bit, and they reflect light more, and she's able to see better in the dark.
Oh, that fucking rocks.
So let's go for the fences. Let's do 4 and 20.
Let's go 420! Blaze it.
Oh, come on.
What'd we get?
Dice! I got a 3 on the control and a 5 on the impact.
Wow. Least useful D20 roll. Very unpleasant.
When I did pull up the 20 on the digital dice roller, it gave me a 15. But when I clicked to roll, it gave me a 5. I'm like, that's rude.
So, I'm going to hit you with something very interesting. 3 will do it. I kind of set it to a 3 in my head. 5, spotting a lie from an experienced bluffer during a playful competition. The mark that etched itself, you realize, you kind of glance down that path and realize, wait a second, that is familiar. There is a route to get to Shadal from there. This is a double bluff. It was trying to get you to take one of the other two paths.
It's a smart little sucker. Whatever this thing is.
So if you follow it, it's not going to get you back on course. You're going to have to navigate your way, but that is a path that can get you back to Shadal.
It's the best we've got.
Are you kidding? We're actually going to follow it?
Sometimes help comes from mysterious places, even if they aren't actually trying to help you. You trust me, right?
Yeah.
We're in this together? We'll get it out of this together. Holds up her hand for like the equivalent of a fist bump or an elbow bump.
She very, very shakily elbow bumps you. And now we've got elbow bumps. Elbow bumps are like the fist bump of Norequis, of the Game Over world. We do elbows here. We have established that. It's canon now.
Elbows or forearms, at least between the runners.
Yeah.
I haven't steered you wrong yet. Maybe a little sideways, but not wrong.
Master Zara, you literally just steered us wrong.
Okay, this is one time. How many times have I saved your butt when you got lost when you snuck off down here without me?
I mean, plenty. I just, I don't trust it.
Zara will point out like the bits of it that she recognizes. Like, see how like the gradient color in the stone changes, and there's almost like that smell. Shadal is down that way. It's not where we came from. I almost picture runners can potentially like talk really, really fast between each other and understand really fast. So that's kind of what's going on here.
Oh, sure.
Very fast slang speak, so whatever's listening may not be able to fully catch on.
Like an extreme form of shorthand.
Yeah. And Zara explains, it's telling us to go this way because it thinks we're gonna not trust it and go the other way. But this is actually the way we need to go. And if it's not, we'll come to another crossroad in another turn, and we can redirect there.
Why don't you go ahead and roll to lie to whatever entity is watching you guys through the power of runner shorthand.
Whatever this is knows runner symbols and is able to carve marks into the... I'm gonna go with 6 and 12.
Okay.
4 for control, 2 for impact.
Okay. You won't know the actual outcome until it comes up.
Nope.
Nope. Are you proceeding?
Yeah, we have to get to Shadal. I take off and make sure that she's following me and keep following my gut and my instincts to get to Shadal.
It is slow going. You have to stop pretty much at every turn and double check everything and make sure that you're going the correct ways. Check in with your sensation of how the cave systems work. This is not how runners usually do business. Usually it is fast. The stopping and starting is frustrating and tiring, but you do feel as if you are making progress. You also have a hard time shaking the sensation that you are being followed.
Siobhan, are you hearing anything? Seeing anything?
No, nothing.
Any other signs of life down here?
No.
You get the feeling from her being followed or watched?
No, I don't feel watched. I do have a question. I feel like whenever we've run tunnels like this, usually by the time we've been down here as long as we have, we bump into another runner.
There's no one down here.
What about all the runners that haven't gotten back?
Maybe they found a common place like the Grumpy Face Rock. Place that they would expect others to run by, find a place you'd recognize, you stay there.
Maybe that's what we should do?
I mean, we're getting close. We're moving in the right direction. Is there something you're sensing?
If we were getting closer to Shadal, I feel like we would have bumped into one of the runners who's also been on the way to Shadal, even if they're also lost.
Unless the lost ones end up somewhere.
And that's when you hear it. The patter-patter of approaching feet. Quick one. Something is running towards the intersection that you're currently standing at.
We both just instinctively step to the side to leave the center clear. Because if you are not actively running, you leave room for other runners.
Coming up extremely quickly is a blur of a person who then comes skidding to a stop at the intersection and breathlessly, wearing a runner's cap, exclaims, "There's other runners! Zara!"
Immediately grab the shoulder, pull out a water skin, shove it into their hand. making sure Shaban is staying like near me within arm's reach if anything weird happens, so I can grab her.
The runner, a man that you have encountered many times, obviously runners mostly know each other, a younger runner by the name of Fabian, recently passed out of his wardship and is now just a full runner. You know that he was assigned to the Shadal area. He drinks greedily from the water and then looks at you with extremely tired eyes and says, I haven't seen another runner for days.
How long have you been down here?
He makes the obvious sign with his eyes that he's like really thinking hard about it. I think at least a week?
Where were you going?
I was going to Shadal for a routine message exchange.
We're also heading to Shadal. Anyone who's entered the tunnels recently has not been seen again. Trying to figure out what's happening. What's the last news you had from Shadal?
No, I was going to Shadal.
What message are you delivering?
It was an information exchange, council updates. He reaches into his bag, and then his eyes go wide again. They're gone. I must have dropped them.
No use going back. We're all three gonna stick together now. We're gonna find an exit, and then we're gonna get to Shadal, okay?
I think I know a pathway to an exit.
Are you sure? You have been lost down here for days without finding a way out.
Well, it's a little far away, but we could travel back over land.
Where does the exit come out?
Nairburn.
That's fucking far. Sorry, that's not her reaction. That's just my reaction. Like, damn. Is there something I can roll to sort of like vibe check of, with my knowledge of the tunnels, does that seem plausible?
Yeah, let it rip.
I'm gonna go with the 6 and the 12 again, because I don't think I've had much reason to go to Nairburn. Hey, that's better. That's a 5 and a 9.
Oh. It is plausible that there could be an exit to Nairburn near here. That is a plausible thing that he is saying. What is not plausible is that he does not have his documents with him. Looking back at that interaction, you notice that he did grip something in the bag and then pretended like there was nothing in there. He's being dodgy about what's going on with his messenger bag. Runners don't just lose documents. That does not happen. They are sealed and they are wrapped up tight in the bag. They could lose their bag, which does happen, like if you bumped into a monster or caught on, like if something bad happened, he could lose his bag. But like you cannot imagine a scenario where a runner still has their bag undamaged, but doesn't have the documents.
I think that Sigsara does, before she agrees to go any direction, just will ask, did they not send Jamie with you? I thought they were sending people in pairs to do information deliveries. Mentioning someone she knows is working somewhere else.
Ah.
That might not even actually be a runner. She just mentions, like, did they not send Jamie with you? I thought they were sending runners in pairs for information deliveries, given the increased hostilities.
Oh, that's so good. Go ahead and roll one, and I'm going to give you a bonus control. So upgrade your control by 1. Whatever you choose, bump your control up.
Okay, I was going to do D8, so I guess I'm doing 10 and 10.
Yeah, 10 and 10, do it.
That's a 9 and a 6.
Oh!
I'm bad at directions, but apparently I'm good at BSing people.
He thinks about it for a weird amount of time. It's an awkward pause, how long he has to think about this. And then he says, yeah, Jamie came with me. We got separated. He took the exit to Nairburn. That's what happened. He took the exit to Nairburn. And you notice while you're looking at him, the irises of his eyes look wrong. There is a wrongness to them, as if they were painted on.
Just casually, like, reaches back and grabs Shaban's hand. Trust me, follow my lead gesture. Lead the way to this Nairburn exit.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
And then the second that he takes off, I'm gonna keep going straight. I'm gonna keep following my gut to Shadal. I'm not gonna follow that man.
Do not follow that man.
Yeah, that is also why, like, I said that, but she made sure to be, like, holding on to Siobhan's hand so Siobhan would follow me, not him.
Siobhan does successfully come with you. She's no dummy. And you head and you run. And you think for a moment you might have hit the straightaway. You even see a faint orangish glow approaching you, indicating that there's another T intersection, which you know is one of the final T intersections before you actually get to the Shade All exit. You might actually be on track until you see the rock wall coming up with you with a single torch at the end of it. And skidding to a halt, you arrive at a dead end. Beneath the torch, you see hangs there, anachronistically, what appears to be a golden framed landscape of Shadal's corridor, big enough that you could crawl through it. It seems to flow and blow with an invisible wind on the other side.
Of my gut say, that way is Shadal.
You're at a dead end.
She's gonna examine the painting. I know I was going the right way. I know I was heading in the right direction. And something has changed. But there has to be a reason or some kind of logic to it. I don't know. I'm not gonna think that far, but like, this is new and different, and that's where I wanna be.
Examining the portrait, you notice that there is depth to it. Not like false painted on depth, an actual kind of depth. When you sort of walk around it, you can see different angles, as if the portrait opened up into a vision of the corridor. Siobhan approaches it well and touches the frame and then recoils really quickly and starts to stare at the landscape really, I guess the best way I could describe it is hungrily.
Bond, what's going on? I put a hand on her arm, not fully grabbing onto her arm, but where I can if I need to.
In a flash, when you touch her, she reaches across herself, pivots, and goes for the hilt of the blade on your hip.
Immediately throw myself back. Nope.
Roll it.
Okay,
I feel this is probably high control.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the 12 and the 6, because just that instinct has been ingrained in me since the second I picked that stupid sword up.
Yeah.
So just no. So that is a 6 on control and 4 on impact as I move position, like maybe even like just gently push her away, keep her at arm's length, and just say, Siobhan, no.
You push her away and her feet skid across the stone ground, and then she reaches behind her and pulls her own runner's short sword and comes rushing at you with a screech.
I wait until the last second and dodge out of the way.
Let's roll it.
We've sparred. We fought before. I don't want to hurt her, but she's not getting the sword, and I would like to not get stabbed, please.
Let's see if we can accomplish both of these things.
That is an 8.
Whoa.
And a 1.
Oh, okay.
I know effort is a thing. Can I spend effort to have that not be a 1?
You can spend effort to make it a 2.
I feel like a 2 is a little better. I'm going to spend a point of effort to make the impact be a 2.
We will take a 2. So rather than getting entangled with you and your blade, you are able to deftly dodge out of the way, but she is set up for a follow-up attack. She spins around and starts coming directly at you with her palm against the back of the hilt of her sword in a harsh stabbing motion, going for kind of your lower midsection, aiming for your sword belt.
So far, whatever is going on down here is trying to lead me in the opposite direction of where I want to go. Currently, something doesn't want me going through the painting. I am going to keep dodging and see if I can get her to follow me back through the painting, or see if I can see if I can find some way to get her to go through the painting.
Oh, roll that.
I'm gonna keep the same 12 and 6.
Okay.
That's an 11 and a 4.
Holy crap. You finally get the position that you really need. Have you drawn yet?
I feel like Zara also would have a dagger, just a simple knife or something. She's drawn that. She is not drawing a sword. Her goal is to keep the sword away from Siobhan and finding it some way through or to or something with the painting.
You have control of Siobhan's blade with the very edge of the hilt of your dagger. Like you've got that under control, and you have one of her hands as well, and you are teetering with her back towards the painting. So at any moment you could push her into it. And with a snarl, she glares at you, and this is unlike her. She's been impatient with you regarding this sword since you prevented her from taking it. But this is way beyond anything she's ever done before. She snarls at you and she says, "It's mine. They know it's mine. Give me the sword and let me go in."
No. And I shove her through the painting and I go with her.
Oh, you're going into the painting with her?
Yes.
I would actually prefer it if you didn't go into the Blight Labyrinth.
Okay, fair.
I'm not ready to send you into the Blight Labyrinth.
Fair.
Sorry.
And then, because I think Zara's logic is maybe like, if we somehow break the frame, the thing that she touched that triggered this, it'll snap the effect. So Zara just will shove her towards the painting, hoping that like something will snap her out of it, or I can find some way to break the frame or something.
Yeah, roll that. One last one.
That's a 5 and a 1.
Oh.
I'm gonna spend another effort. I don't want to kill her. I do not want to kill her.
You shove her through the painting. And so if you would have kept the 1, I was going to have her touch the hilt of your sword on her way through.
Oh, no.
That would have been bad.
No.
So we'll keep the 2. As she reaches for it in one last desperate attempt, you are able to pivot your hip away and complete the shove. Rather than breaking the frame, rather than pressing her against the painting as one would expect, she falls all the way through it and disappears into the painting, and you are standing entirely in silence. And then something peculiar happens. The painting flattens as if it were closing a door behind her.
Or it just stares in shock and horror. Is she visible at all, or?
No. It is still a landscape of Shadal's corridor.
I don't know enough about weird magic shit to know how to get her back. I have never seen this before. There's people actively studying weird magic shit down in Shadal. I need to get there. And I need to talk to someone from the school to see if there's some way we can find her and get her back. But right now, there's nothing I can do. She's not going to touch the painting, per se. She knows better than to do that. That just feels like a bad idea. But I think she'll go nearby and carve something in the wall. Almost like a reminder to come back. There's something here that needs to be fixed. Something here that needs to be fixed. And something that was lost. And she's going to try and, like, memorize what it feels like to be here. Maybe she can one day, when she has answers, find her way back here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I think that's cool. Like, you're sort of like logging this place in your runner mini map. That feels like something that runners, especially you, would be able to do.
Yeah, and I think before I take off again to find my way to Shadal, I point towards the painting with my dagger. You better keep her safe. Because I will be back for her. And you will give her back.
The painting does not respond.
Zara doesn't know how any of this works. It ate her friend after making her friend go homicidal. There's one thing I can do. Get to Shadal.
And so you heel turn and begin running headlong into the darkness. And that is where we will end.
Woo! That was mean.
Yeah, it was.
You've been listening to Game Open, a creative world-building collective building a world one game at a time. We are currently introducing our characters for our Cosmic Century Knights game. Cosmic Century Knights is a fantasy adventure RPG created by James D'Amato and Andrew Mrziowski. If you like what we're doing, please go over and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamewoven. You can also find us on social media, and you can support us through our parent network over at patreon.com/oneshot. It's also a good place to go if you are looking for new shows to listen to, because we are in excellent company.